In which of the 3 dating phases do you find yourself? Especially when you fly to the Philippines or elsewhere in Southeast Asia, for instance, in search of your dream woman. Are you aware that you might not yet be ready for the big love? Let's see in which of the 3 dating phases you actually find yourself, okay? There are the men who leave their home country for women because they want to escape the challenges there or their personal bad experiences. And yes, especially when these men come to the Philippines for the first time, they often experience a shock. Here, everything seems like a paradise to them, almost like a fairyland full of opportunities and pleasures. It then feels as if you're moving from a cold, man-repelling, chirping ice desert into a blooming oasis full of nectar and the sweetest honey. Every day, almost every minute, you encounter women here who at least invite you to flirt, or not more. Whether online or in personal contact in a mall, on the streets, while shopping, even right outside the condo, it seems like there's an endless supply of charming Filipinas to date. One can imagine that this first experience for a man is similar to a small child entering a candy store, overwhelmed by all the possibilities. And then the man begins this phase of exploration. Yes, the fact is that many older men have trouble interacting with women. Despite their age, they are shy, lack experience in flirting and interacting with women. For them, it's largely uncharted territory. And then it's understandable that many of these men look for an easy way out. Places in the Philippines or elsewhere in the world where it's easier to meet women who require less in terms of social skills, if in return the man is financially generous. Sure, these women might not have the best intentions, but they are easily accessible, because these women are primarily interested in the money and the man who has it. The man's intention in doing this doesn't matter. Maybe it's just to take the path of least resistance. Then the first sentence is often, how much does it cost? Or maybe it's because he's working on improving his social skills with women. That's what I already mentioned in earlier videos as practice, practice, practice. So approaching a woman, starting a conversation, building a relationship, going out a few times and having a real interaction with a woman, instead of just asking how much does it cost. But one must not overlook the fact that after some time, this behavior usually transitions into phase 2. Many men experience phase 1 for quite some time until they've had enough, because at some point fatigue sets in. That's then the moment when you often find yourself sitting at home in your condo on a Friday evening wondering, do I really want to go out again tonight? Meet a woman at the mall, do something together, and then she might leave on Sunday. But instead you suddenly answer yourself, to be honest, I just want some peace. It's somehow no fun anymore, I don't want to do this now. And then you realize, I did that yesterday, the day before yesterday, and the days before that. That's all I have been doing for the last 3 or 4 months. I don't want to message another woman again, meet her at Jollibee, ask if she wants to see my apartment, and then she stays for the weekend or the night. Then you decide, I just want to order a pizza, relax a bit in the pool, maybe watch a movie on Netflix and sleep. I'll make myself a great breakfast on Saturday and just relax the entire weekend. No drama, no forced enthusiasm in a conversation with a woman, no stress. I just want some peace, I want to be alone. This might be hard for you to believe, especially if you're younger and more impetuous. The idea that on a Friday night or any other night, you have the choice to either spend time with a beautiful young Filipina in your own apartment or to stay home, swim in the pool and eat pizza, and you actually choose the latter. But it's true, you reach a point where you are so saturated that you think, I don't want to keep playing the same game over and over. I just want some quality time for myself. So there is this phase 2. In phase 1, you let yourself go, but in phase 2, you reach a point where you've had enough of the whole drama, and you tell yourself, what I really want is a relationship. What I really want is to plan a future with someone. I want to spend my days, weeks, months with someone who really knows me, someone with whom I have a close connection, someone I want around me every day. Someone who is now truly my closest friend beyond the intimate relationship. Welcome to your second phase, the relationship phase. Your goal is no longer to run up and down the buffet. Now the focus is on quality rather than quantity. Put another way, phase 1 was the rampage, quantity over everything, just burning out because the possibilities are seemingly endless. And then phase 2 is the fatigue and the transition to wanting a relationship. Indeed, in phase 2 you're still searching, but more focused and less frantic. And eventually, at the end of this phase, you find her, the woman who seems worth it. And surely many of you know this. You meet someone and you feel it in your bones, that's the right one. But you also know that an exclusive, monogamous relationship means leaving all the other women who are still out there behind. And sure, we are men, so we try to wiggle our way out of this dilemma. You tell yourself, I want this one, good, exclusive relationship where she doesn't see other guys. But you, well, you yourself wouldn't mind having 1 or 2 women on the side. You try to get the best of both worlds for yourself. Yes, you're just following your emotions and desires without using logic. You're not a Vulcan after all. You're supposed to be exclusive for her, while at the same time you're speaking around with other women. But that's the exact opposite of exclusivity. You realize on your own that you can't expect to experience the benefits and depths of a great relationship based on trust if you're not trustworthy yourself. Sooner or later the deceit comes to light and you end up back at the beginning. Men who experience this phase are their own worst enemies. They know they want a good quality relationship, but they are not really ready to commit to it. So phase 2 is the one where you are constantly looking for a relationship. Only in phase 3 do you finally find the right woman, the woman with whom you want to spend the rest of your life. Let's call this phase the construction phase. Why, you ask? It's quite simple. In the first 2 phases you didn't build anything. You enjoyed life, but without commitments. You searched, played, enjoyed. But in these first 2 phases you didn't really build anything, except maybe a few bad habits. However, in phase 3 you finally found the woman you were looking for and you're ready to fully commit and leave all other women behind. You're willing to give up all the other Filipinas on this planet because you want this one woman as your life partner. And you don't want her to be with other guys, so you offer the same. I will not be with any other woman, I just want you. And as soon as you have this commitment to each other, you can start building something, because now you have trust. Now you can say to each other, okay, we will be together and build a life together. So take a good look at yourself in the mirror and be honest with yourself. In which phase are you? Be realistic. See where you really stand, not where you think you stand. Are you in phase 1, just having a blast, exploring the area, living it up, doing your thing? Is that the phase you're in? Okay, acknowledge it. Or are you in phase 2? Are you tired of it all and really want to start finding a high quality person to build a relationship with? Are you in search mode? I also know a bunch of guys who are already in phase 3. They're married, had no doubts about marrying the woman they found. They're building their relationship a future, they have kids, they live where they want to live, have a home and a family, and they're pulling together in terms of life planning. I've met some really cool couples who are very happy because they've been through phases 1 and 2. How long each of these phases lasts is individual, so don't worry if you're still in phase 1 at 50. For some, phase 1 might only last 2 months, phase 2 maybe a couple of years, and then luckily they spend the rest of their lives in phase 3. But there are men who are stuck in phase 1. Not really by choice, they just don't have a plan. What they do is they wake up every day and just repeat what they did yesterday because they can't think of anything better, or because they don't want to realize that there's more to life than jumping from one woman to the next. They're everywhere, lone wolves or small groups of men. When you meet such phase 1 men, the conversation basically always ends up with the same result. The only interesting topic these guys can talk about is which girl they slept with in the afternoon, in the morning or last night. Then it quickly becomes clear that these guys basically wake up every day and the only thing that keeps them going is wake up, sober up and find the next girl. These men are like addicts, you could say, or like zombies. An English term you might have heard for this is monger. The word monger has an interesting meaning and history in English. Originally it referred to someone who deals in specific commodity. Think of terms like fishmonger for a fish dealer or ironmonger for a hardware dealer. Over time, however, the meaning has evolved. In the context of this video, monger refers to a womanizer, someone who actively and frequently seeks fleeting or superficial romantic or sexual relationship with women. And the term is often meant negatively, as it is often associated with disrespectful or exploitive behavior towards women. Men who are stuck in phase 1 could be broadly described as follows. All they do is drink and look out for the next girl they can sleep with for a payment. A relationship is not at all in their plans. They don't want that. They are often already in their 60s or 70s. They like to roam around where there are younger women and even get recommended by former girlfriends. These girlfriends tell their friends, hey, if you want to make money, go to that guy. And if you think about it, these guys easily have 300 girls a year. Now you might think, wow, pure hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure and sensual gratification. But honestly, I'm not here to tell anyone how to live their life. But my personal opinion is how many of them are actually trapped in their addiction and are consumed by this addiction, instead of actually enjoying pleasure. I just imagine such a man gets older and his health starts to decline. Then he doesn't have anyone he can trust. That's going to be a pretty sad ending. There are always articles about older men who died of a heart attack in some cheap hotel room, and the so-called girlfriend then tells the police he just collapsed, or he was found by one of the cleaning staff because not even a girlfriend was with him. But back to the beginning. Remember the kid in the candy store. Sugar is also addictive, and the kids just can't get away from the sugar. So let's cut to the chase. Which phase are you in? You don't have to tell anyone, but be honest with yourself. Are you in phase 1, 2 or 3? The second question would be, do you plan to move into the next phase? And if you are already in phase 3, meaning you found the person you want to share your life with, then the next consideration would be, is my family taken care of when I'm no longer here? That wouldn't be a new chapter, but rather an important goal of phase 3. And if you can tell yourself, I do want a relationship, but not just yet, maybe in 6 months, then that's okay too. Have your fun and maybe revisit this video in 6 months. And then ask yourself if you might be tired of the frolicking after all. Maybe then you really want to find someone you can trust, with whom you can build a future. What are your priorities? I hope I can help you a bit with my videos, and in return I would appreciate some recognition. At least a like would be nice. Then hopefully we'll see each other again in no more than 6 months. Until then, it's again bye bye from Cebu.